I'm Link, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to the Culture Show. Doing well, having a wonderful day on this 23 April 2025. We're just going to be filming the sunrise, and I have a couple of videos to do before we go to my father's. So enjoy. I'm going to leave at 9 o'clock. Be early. To the Republic, to democracy. If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. Only sit till the absolute, I'll do what I must. You'll try, yeah, you failed you, and I cannot fail you. Should've known the jet I was planning to take over, and I can Chancellor Palpatine is evil. From my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Well, then you're lost. Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome to the Culture Show. It's the Wolves having a wonderful day on this. Oh, I forgot my water. On this 23 April 2025, and I forgot my computer. It is an absolute beautiful day outside, as you can clearly tell. But today, the subject we're going to talk about is a bit cloudy in itself. So the subject we're going to be talking about is depression and living with depression. If I'm being completely honest, guys, I'm not doing so well. Now, am I depressed? If I'm being completely honest, I feel like I have a very mild depression. We're not doing well. So I'm gonna tell you guys why I feel like I got a possible depression, and then we'll be checking out what caused it, shit like that. And I feel like it's therapeutic to talk about it, and that's why we're truly talking about it. By the way, it is. See, so you guys know that in January, my whole perception changed, right? The whole, oh my God, it's kind of crazy. My whole perception of everything and anything changed by doing the AA. Now, once again, we didn't have a drinking problem, but we had other addiction that didn't necessarily have group for them. So, for example, there's not a group for workaholic. By the way, you see me looking down. We're looking down because we're uploading content. But it really changed. Like, for example, the steps, right? Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, right? And how it really changed is being able to say, hey, yes, I had depression. Yes, I'm dealing with this shit. Yes, X, Y, Z, right? And the first step to recovery is admittance, right? And it's so weird because, in so many ways, I'm not saying that depression is like alcoholism, but I'm saying that there's a lot of similarities. For example, right, there's functioning alcoholic. And to me, I've had really bad episodes of depression where I couldn't move, right? But then, what if I was able to be a functioning, I had a functioning depression, right? And then, it kind of makes sense. Why do I think that why am I saying that I'm depressed, right? You can see me smiling, you can see me laughing, right? You can absolutely see me working as hard as possible on making content. So that's why I want to specify my depression, right? Because if I was having the biggest depression, I wouldn't be able to do those things, right? But every single month there's something, and it's something that's so little, right? Now, ultimately speaking, maybe weak-minded, weak-willed, right? And that's absolutely shitty, because you don't want to be the guy that lets life get him down, right? Of course, by saying that it will never let you down, I think it will. But you want to be the guy who's dependent, right? And now every single thing happened to me. For example, we had a conversation with my father. It really hurt my feeling, but still, I was depressed for 3 weeks. We had a governmental news which says I owe money. My answer was to be mentally anguished about it. Now, of course, it's a lot of money, so there's stress involved. But I think it's easier to function with stress than function with depression, right? So the perfect and at the same time, at the same time, it's such a complex because there's horrible thing about this video, but there's also great thing about this video. And the simple fact that we're talking about it is so beneficial, right? So letting little things like that, right, change everything. It's not good because, like, okay, well, you're gonna stop living every single time that something's happened to you, and the answer is, of course not. And then there's an even worse mentality of, hey, okay, I just need to do something. There's an even worse mentality of how long is this gonna last, right? Because it's been lasting for a while. See, I'm not gonna blame the abuse that I received at my ex job, the mental abuse, the emotional. I could use that for sure, but it's See, we're doing a lot of things right now. See, it's a lot more than that. I think it's repressed feelings. If I talk to you guys about why I feel like I'm depressed, because then again, it's like, okay, well, why are you depressed? Most people are gonna tell you, I don't know. There's actually a really couple of good reasons. So, for example, right? But before we continue with that, let's go with the positive, right? Let's go with the positive. It isn't normal that I start to work out. It isn't normal that I just go out and I feel so much better, right? And I'm like, holy shit, this is like a therapy, right? Now, ultimately speaking, when you're happy, you're able to have a balance of endorphin and constantly be happy. There's not constantly things in your life to make you happy. You just wake up happy, right? So when you have when you go and you work out or you go outside and like, holy shit, I feel so good, right? I feel so freaking good. There's a reason for that. It's because before you were not doing well, right? It's not that you're doing good, that you were doing bad and now you're doing good, kind of thing, right? Now, ultimately speaking, why do I think? I think we all have ways to cope, right? I think we all have ways to deal with anguish or depression or mental health issue, right? In my case, it is, and again, I took that from Spenny vs. Kenny, right? Spenny vs. Kenny, which is, if you guys know me, you know that how much this show was important to me. Growing up, this show was instrumental to who I am right now, right? And this guy had depression, right? And the doctor was saying, some people, they say they think that they need to work. People, they don't need to work, right? They need to be alone. In my case, it's a bit of both. I think it's a bit of both. Like, for example, and that's the shittiest part. I met a girl a week ago, right? And we were talking every day, and it just was too much. I wasn't mentally well, and I was like, hey, gotta talk. I'm kind of depressed, I didn't say it like that. I told her, hey, gotta talk. I gotta do this. Like, why? I said, I don't feel good. She said, why don't you feel good? Did I do something wrong? I'm like, no, I'm saying that you didn't do anything wrong, And if I was able to at least say, hey, you did X, Y, Z, and that's why I'm like that, right? And it wasn't the case. It was just constant, right? And I want to take, for example, the comments. I want to take the time to answer them and give you guys video each because he deserves it. But it's piling up and it's piling up and it's piling up, and I'm like, holy shit, this is never gonna finish, right? But then, so what's gonna happen is I have about 20. I can do 5, I can do 6, right? But then I'm not gonna be able to. And what I saw, and again, when we had our depression because of my father, not depression, but we had this episodes, right? I answered everybody, and I wasn't answering, and people were answering, right? So I was answering comments, and then people were adding comments, and then I was like, holy shit, dude, I'm never gonna be finished, right? Now, ultimately speaking, I can just write back to people, but kind of put myself in a cage here where I like doing that. I acknowledge how I like doing that and like how much I like doing it. It's like, oh well, you know what? I give you guys a cheeseburger every single day for the last week, but today you don't get any. And then you say why, and I say I don't feel like it. It doesn't make any sense. That's not fair, right? It's not fair, and I'm all about fairness. So yeah. So long story short, I really feel like it's affecting the rest of my life. It's not, and I feel like the problem is in the fact that, because if you ask me today, are you okay? The answer is probably yes, right? It's not a I'm great, right? And you ask yourself when the time you were great, right? And you have to. There's time where I play up for a camera, I play up, and I fucking hate that, and I fucking hate that. And there's time where I don't feel good, right? And I don't feel good, and I have to pretend. Like for example, yesterday. Yesterday was horrible. Yesterday was horrible. It was horrible in a state that I was not doing well at all. Okay, so what happened yesterday? You know, you heard me. I broke up with my girl yesterday, right? And then we had a lot of things that happened, you know. So what happened yesterday is we went to the government, right? And you guys know that I have a debt to the government. Well, yesterday we were supposed to go there to fix the problem, because my card was expired, right? They couldn't help me. So we went there for no reason. And the last day that I had to say no, I refuse to pay was yesterday, right? So now we have a refusal to pay, and it's a revision, right? But the guy is gonna call me and ask questions. But if he doesn't call, right, I'm fucked, because he's gonna give me the same. They didn't ask for information. They didn't ask for any additional information. I filled up a form, but if the guy is really gonna be reading the form, I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue. You know, and that's the scary part. That is the scary part. It's not necessarily, hey, what's gonna happen is, did I do as much as I could do? You know, because it's a $30,000, right? And if it cost me yesterday, it cost me. And there's a plot in all of this, a plot where, you know what, we did go, right? Because we did go, well, we kind of did good, right? But then, I don't know, you made the effort. No matter what happened, you did what you had to do, right? No matter what you did. But then at the same time, it's not true. It's not true, because did you really do as much as you could? So then yesterday, because it didn't work to my want, right? I didn't feel good about it. But then, fuck your wants, right? You don't get what you want in life. You don't get everything that you want. Yesterday I was sad, right? And yesterday we had a really bad episode. And again, it's so nuts, because this is exactly the subject of the day. This is exactly what I'm trying to convey. A mild depression. Now, am I saying I'm depressed, I'm not gonna make content? No, I'm not saying that. Am I saying please help, I got depression? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that right now it's rough. In a lot of ways, you know. Like yesterday, I was having a bad episode, you know, and I was live on TikTok, and I had to pretend like I was doing well. And then I listened to a song, because somebody came in and we're listening to a song, and the song was Rebel Romance, right? Reprobate Romance from Black Veil Bride. But now, was I listening to the song because I broke up with a girl? Maybe. I don't know. You know, that's the thing. Why are you listening to a song? Why are you doing anything in life, right? And then it felt so good to sing. It felt so good, right? And then I started listening to other songs, because this first song felt so good. But then those other songs that I was listening to, those were songs that I would listen to when I was depressed. You understand? So you're like, okay, wait a second. Wait a second. Why are you listening to these specific songs? Because, for example, right? You move into this apartment, right? You move into this apartment. You move into another apartment, and somebody comes to your welcoming home warming. There's a word for that. Home something. You know, it's a. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's a home christening, I think. And they're giving you this painting, right? And this painting fucking sucks, right? It fucking sucks. It's not your style. you can tell that's something that they wanted, but they didn't think about you when they bought it, right? And then it becomes a joke. It becomes a joke for yourself. You're like, holy fuck, dude, can't believe this is it, right? But then you warm up to it. You see it every single day, right? You see it every single day, right? You're like, you know what? At the end, I like it, right? And then you go to your new building because you move up in life, right? You're now a father. You now have kids, right? And then you want to put the painting somewhere. It doesn't feel the same. And then you realize that you didn't really like the painting at all. And you never really did, right? You never warm up to it. You warm up to what it represents. Those people in your life, that moment in your life, right? Music is the exact same thing. Why am I listening to this song? Because this song is a reminder of how bad it was, right? And again, it's up to you to choose. Okay, well, how you feel about the song or your possible reaction to a certain music is like that. Music is healing, right? Now I'm going to do videos about music today. For example, we were. It's loud. It's very loud. It's insane. I'm a big fan of Star Wars. Okay, I'm not a big fan of Star Wars, but I say I'm a big fan of Star Wars. And there's this guy who took an AI, right, and he wrote a song for the very last moment of the movie, of the trilogy, the prequel to the trilogy, which is the one in Anakin fight, right? And he took what they were saying, and he took the scene of the fight, and he made an AI of it, right? And because he made an AI of it, right? And this is actually really interesting. We're really diving in today. I'm sorry I'm treating you guys like my fucking shrinks, but hey, I'll pay you when I have the money, right? You see, we're able to make jokes, which is great. So with the AI, just saying that, I listen to it a lot. So I've listened to the movie a lot, but by listening to the AI, you know, I was able to retain information. Now we watched the Star Wars trilogy last week, and I was able to remember because they're not writing new lyrics; they're taking the lyrics that's already existent on the show or on the movie, and then they're implementing it in a situation, right? And I knew it by heart. It's like wait a second. How am I able to know that